I am your host, FatDag, and you're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Twitter and Instagram at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. Remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello. Welcome to episode 57 of Wise Advice. And hopefully by now, most of you have been able to get out there and get the app, whether it's in the Android store or the Apple store now. So it's really, I'm really excited to see that out there. I was able to finally get my hands on it for the first time, and I took it for a test drive, the actual version, and I guess that's exactly what I was hoping for. I got a few comments back from people saying finally they can listen to the podcast because they weren't podcast savvy. So now it's as simple as going to the App Store, downloading the app, and hitting play. So hopefully you're enjoying it as well. Certainly if you get a chance, get out to iTunes, give it a review. I would love that. Go to the Google Play Store, give it a review there. That way other people, when they see it, they understand what it's about. And it brings them into our community, which is the whole reason I do all this, is to continue to grow our community, to bring people into Connect so they can join us and they can be part of our community. And so the more you share, the more you review it, it opens up the community and exposes it to more people. So thank you for doing that. I want to open up the email here with a great email. It comes from Geoff out of Irwin, Pennsylvania. And Geoff writes in, says, "Hello, FatDag. I will echo what everyone else says. Thank you for what you do. I've been a faithful listener since the episodes didn't have numbers. I was inspired by the why you read about in episode 51 because mine is very similar. My entire life I've been obese. Not overweight, not chubby, but obese. Weight Watchers has truly helped me change my life. Of course, like probably most of your listeners, I've gone on in many crash diets only to see the weight come right back. My motivation was always that I wanted to be thin and look good. Well, I realized that those can only be ancillary benefits or nice to haves. My diet failed because I wasn't focusing on what should be my must have. That is my health. Bad health runs in my family. My dad had quintuple bypass surgery at the young age of 40. I always ate what I wanted to, and I worked out sporadically because I'm young. I don't have to worry about that stuff yet. Well, I actually celebrated my 30th birthday on May 24th, and I took a bad checkup at the doctor's office last October to realize that 40 isn't that far away, and I need to make drastic changes if I don't want to follow the same path as my dad. When I got blood work returned in November, my triglycerides were literally the highest my doctor had ever seen. That was my wake-up call. And that morning is when my why was born. Now, my why isn't just to be healthy. My why is to be able to chase my eventual grandkids around. My wife and I don't have kids yet, but they will come. And I want to tire them out, not the other way around. My why is to have normal blood pressure and literally to die from anything other than heart disease. I'm thrilled and proud to say that the last time I had my blood pressure checked, which has always been a bit elevated, just short of needing to be on blood pressure medication, I was at 115/74, and I was off my triglyceride medication within 2 months. I've been on Weight Watchers since the day after Thanksgiving, strategically of course, and I'm proud to say that I'm down 45.2 pounds. I'm the lightest I've been since middle school, and I've had to get all new clothes, medium shirts and 30 pants instead of extra large shirts and 38 pants. The old me would have stopped there. Heck yeah, I'm down to smaller clothes and healthy. Great job me. Well, I've taken it a lot further. Obviously, with me being obese my whole life, I've never been able to run more than a mile at a time. I'm up to 4 miles at a time, and I did something a 28-year-old version of me would have said is literally impossible. I signed up for the Tough Mudder race in Pittsburgh on September 9th, 12 miles and 20 military-like obstacles, many of which through ice water and or mud. What? The best thing is I'm excited about it, not scared. I've never trained harder than I have been, and I will be for the next 3.5 months. With this training comes slower weight loss, but honestly, who cares? I still have 15 pounds to go to be normal, waiting to be able to get to a lifetime, but I'm in no rush. I'm enjoying every second of this ride, not to mention that my wife Brittany is in it with me too. She's down over 60 pounds and doing awesome. We are Weight Watcher lifers and proud of it. Talk to you again soon. Stay well focused. Geoff from Irwin, Pennsylvania. Geoff, dude, that's an amazing testament right there. You're doing fantastic work, and you've realized one of the things that is the key component to this entire program. When you truly figure out why you're doing this, why we call this wise advice, when you truly figure out why you are working this program, that's when you're going to make goal. That's when the mind shifts. So I'm going to congratulate you now for making goal, because in your head, you've made goal. The scale doesn't know it yet. The scale's still going to take some time to catch up, but you've made goal, because goal is a feeling, goal is a mindset, and you're clearly there. Continuing on that path, continuing exactly how you are, the scale will catch up. You'll hit your normal BMI. You'll hop on the scale and you'll say, I don't want to lose another pound. So very, very proud of you. One of the things we know is the doctor is almost always, if not always, going to recommend weight loss as a potential option to whatever ailment we bring to them. Sure, they will continue to diagnose the rest of you. That's obviously, that's what they're there for. But their diagnosis is always going to include weight loss. So if we know that going into it, why don't we tackle it now? So that when we get to the point where we need the doc, he has 100% of his effort, or she has 100% of their effort to focus on what's really going on, and they don't get blinded by the fact that we obviously need to lose weight. So if we can walk in there at a healthy weight and a healthy BMI and say, Doc, I got this ailment, check my levels and everything is, that's when they can really truly diagnose it, because they're going to give us a prescription for weight loss, right? So we might as well attack it ahead of time. So I'm very proud of you for fighting off complacency. Complacency is the number one reason that we all fail in this journey. And so you got to a point where absolutely you were feeling good. You were looking good. You were better than you'd ever been, but you've decided to continue on. And that's what I mean by I'm congratulating you on making goal. Together, you and your wife, you're doing fantastic work. You're doing awesome. And you're absolutely right. The timeline does not matter. So the only caution I would give you in your email, and like I said, I'm super proud to read it. It was a very, very good email. But I want you to just be mindful of the amount of exercise you're putting in. If you're using exercise as a weight loss part of your journey, and that's allowing you to overeat, you didn't indicate this at all in your email. I'm just giving you a caution. If you're using exercise as a way to maintain your weight loss, then just know that the day that you can no longer exercise, you have to make adjustments. So keep up the great work. Keep up the great exercise. Exercise is very important to this journey, but I want you to continue making the healthy lifestyle changes and do everything you need to do in the food category to continue to win. So thanks for your email. Congratulations. Super duper proud of you. Heather writes in, she says, hello, thank you for your podcast and your service to our country. My husband and I are doing Weight Watchers online together for the first time. I've been a member on and off for a ton of years. The question we have is, my husband gets 63 points per day. He has a hard time eating that many points when making mindful choices. His weight loss has been slow, I believe, as a result of him not being able to eat his points. Would you have any suggestions for him? Thank you, Heather. Well, Heather, first of all, hats off to him for making the choice. Hats off for him for being caring enough to want to make a difference, to want to live a healthy lifestyle, and to continue working the program with you. I think you guys together have the ability to get this done. So I'm proud of you for making that decision. Now let's talk about his points, right? So 63 points, you're right, it is a lot of food. If you're making healthy choices and you're eating, a lot of food that's rich in protein, it will be difficult to get 63 points in a day without being, overdoing it in some regard. But that's not to say that, the plan was designed by the folks who understand all this math. So I would say initially, if his weight loss is slow, I would tend to agree with you. That is because he's not getting enough food. I would then add in, a lot of times when we start off with 63 points and we start with Weight Watchers, we start real easy to try and shave points wherever we can. So what I would want him to do is get a good full bracket. Take 63, divide it by 3, right? So that's, 21 points a day. 21 points a meal. So 21 for breakfast, 21 for lunch, 21 for dinner. So that's 63. And I want him to work into that mindset. So start with a nice, healthy breakfast of protein. If you don't get to 21 there, substitute with instead of using the low-fat cheese and the skim milk, go to whole milk, go to regular cheese, those types of things initially to get to those points. Almonds are a great solution. We see all the time people, will snack on some almonds in the middle of the day. I think he wants to get his blue dots. I think you want to get him in the healthy eating range and at least try that for 3 to 4 weeks. See what that is. If that doesn't work, then it's time to sit down with your leader and have a real conversation. Look at his tracker honestly. That's what I would do. I would want to see exactly what he's eating, because it's really hard via email to say, do this or don't do that. I would truly want to look at the types of foods he's eating and then start making some substitution changes for him to see where we can go. But above all, the absolute coolest thing is that you're working it together. And then the fact that you two are going to be able to reach goal together and work off of each other is going to be tremendously valuable. So tell him, welcome to Weight Watchers, welcome to you, and let's go get it done. Great work. Patricia writes in and says, I have lost my why and I don't know how to get it back. The reason I joined again this time was because my son asked me to join to be support for him. Well, I went, how can you say no to your child, even if he's grown? Then I found my why. I didn't want to become a burden to my husband and my children like my mother had been to her family for years due to her obesity. My mom has since passed away, and that is no longer a constant reminder. I've lost 70 pounds with more to go. I've been a Weight Watcher many times, and I've made it within 10 pounds of my goal, and I quit. I listen to your podcast every morning. Thank you for your inspiration. I keep losing and gaining the same 2 to 3 pounds for months now. I have switched to simply filling this week to make me accountable for all the true points I am eating and to give myself permission not to weigh and measure everything, and I feel it's forcing me to make better choices. Weekly points don't go very far. I know your why will change during the course of this journey, but right now I'm feeling lost. I know I'm not willing to stop, nor will I give up. I guess I'm just looking for advice as to how to get refocused. Patricia. Well, Patricia, the first thing I want to say is I'm not a big believer in the fact that your why changes. I believe if your why is changing, then I believe that you didn't dig into the root why in the first place. So if your initial why was to make it to a wedding, there's a deeper cause to that. In your case, your first why was you didn't want to be a burden to your family, and that is absolutely commendable. And if that is your true why, dig in a little deeper. What does that mean? What does that look like? When you say you don't want to be a burden, elaborate on that in a note to yourself. Write it down so that only you can read it. And then you've got to fight off the complacency trap. So here's what I say specifically in your issue. And when you say you want to get refocused, here's how I would offer a refocus to you. Write down your why. Grab a pen. Grab a paper. I say this all the time. Grab a pen, grab a paper. Write down, I do not want to be a burden. And then describe what that means. Write down what you thought was burdensome that caused you to think that you didn't want to be that. Really, when you get your why written down, it's got to be a couple pages long. And you've got to really pour your heart and soul into that. You've got to lay it all on the line and say, I don't want this. So then I want you to reset again. At this point, take a photo or two of exactly where you're at. Your iPhone or your Android phone has a self-timer. No one needs to be there. Set the timer up, put it on the, on the bookcase or whatever it is. Take a photo so that you can compare how this journey goes. When you're down 5-10 pounds from here, you'll see that. And you'll see the difference in 5 or 10 pounds. Even though you're significantly well on your way, you can always see a 5 and 10 pound improvement in photos. So continue to document your journey. So when you switch to Simply Filling, the thing that you need to know about that is you still can overeat on healthy food. Simply Filling does not give you a carte blanche, free ride to healthy food. Simply Filling means that you're mindful and you're eating until you're full. A lot of us don't have the ability to recognize when those hunger signals are over. So I would personally say if Simply Filling is not working for you at the moment, I would switch back to regular tracking for a couple weeks. I would track everything. I would weigh everything. I would measure everything. And I would see if you get the results that you're looking for. That is going to get you to the point. So we're writing down our why. We're taking photos. We're resetting the tracker. We're going to set attendance goals and a milestone. Set attendance goals for I will weigh in weekly. I will check in with an accountability partner weekly. I will hit exercise X amount of days a week. And I will look at my current weight today and I'm going to set a 5-pound milestone, a 10-pound milestone from today. And I'm going to celebrate when I get there. All of that is a reset. If you reset from today is day one, you walk into your next meeting armed with your why, armed with your photos, you have a plan, you can get it done. The timeline, we said earlier, the timeline does not matter. The starting weights don't matter. What matters is that you continue on the journey and you want to get it done. And this is a good way to get it done, is by regrouping and starting over. So thanks for that for sure. Next up, Tabitha writes in, says, "Hi, Mike. My name is Tabitha. I'm an Army wife. I've been married to my husband for 10 years. In the last almost 9, I've followed him around the world while he serves our country. I'm writing to you because I feel inspired by you. I've had success on Weight Watchers before. I've lost 100 pounds previously, and I kept it off for quite some time. However, I've had some setbacks. I lost weight previously because we lost our son. He was born with congenital heart failure disease and passed away after a long struggle at 7.5 months. I felt like he couldn't help his health, but I could help mine. Life was good. I felt like I was healing. We lived in Washington at the time, and we had a great group of friends, but then we moved to Colorado. Shortly after moving to Colorado, I had a breakdown. I fell into a deep depression, like only got out of bed to take my daughter to school depression, and then back to bed. I went on antidepressants, which caused me to gain weight. The medication helped me begin to feel like myself again. I began running again. I felt happier, but the weight gain continued. Thankfully, my doctor changed the medicine eventually to one that didn't have a weight gain side effect. Then one day while on my run, I fell on a trail and broke my distal fibula, which led to foot problems and eventually surgery. Then my thyroid decided to stop working. I finally got that under control, and I started losing weight again, and then life was uprooted by another military move. We just moved to Kansas 2 months ago, and I started working immediately. I just got my house unpacked a week ago because we were having visitors. My husband is away at training, and I'm back to balancing this crazy new life alone for now. I have a wonderful job. I'm an insurance agent who helps retirees start the process into retirement and Medicare. I recently had an eye-opening event. I applied for insurance, and the fact that I might actually be uninsurable has made me realize I need to get my life together. These can all be really good excuses, but truly, they are just excuses. I'm ready to get my life back and do whatever it takes to get my health back. Thanks for your encouraging movement forward for military health and military health. My husband, who's always been thin, is starting to struggle with his weight, and this has to be a change for all of us. Regards, Tabitha." Well, Tabitha, you've been through a lot, right? Absolutely, you've been through a lot, and you continue to persevere, which shows your strength. You have the ability to get this done. When you would join Weight Watchers before, you lost 100 pounds. So the beautiful thing about that is not only do you know the program works, you know how to work the program, and you know you can get success on the program. Now, Since you've done that, sure, you've been through a lot. You've been on different medications. All of these, continue to work with your doctor. That's very important. Continue to keep that monitored. But the plan absolutely works. As a military spouse, you know the sacrifice that you're going through. And so I don't need to explain it to you. But for the other folks listening, it's an incredibly demanding job to be a military spouse. We get notice that sometimes that we're moving real soon and you have to pack up the entire life. All of a sudden we move to a location, we get issued a job, we get issued friends, we get issued a place to work. And the military spouse has to build everything else around that. So you've shouldered a lot of this. I completely understand that. I'm extremely appreciative of your service and the service that your husband provides to our nation. He can't do it without you, and then you can't do it without him. So you are a team. You do need to get the weight under control for both of you, but you have the ability to get it done. So let's get it focused. Let's see what we got to do to continue to check in, to continue to work the plan. Work on the simplest thing is let's just focus on attendance. Let's focus on just showing up every morning, being mindful to the process, working out a couple days a week, and let's work on the blue dots. The blue dots are there for a reason. The blue dots will help guide you into healthier food choices if you follow the program. So if you're not working the program and getting blue dots every week, that's the number one step. That's the easiest thing to do to work on. So continued focus to you. This takes focus. It takes discipline. You've lost 100 pounds before. You can do this. I believe you can do this. I know you can get it done. Let's go after it. So, folks, that's going to do it for this time. I want to know what you're celebrating. I want to share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. But really, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight, getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus.